once again, they came out there and you know, you guys may think I'm just losing my mind or something, but they come out and they're ready to go. They're focused on the next deal. They're communicating, and they're doing what we're asking them to do. So that's a positive. It's a positive, and so we got to keep going.
H, what'd you learn from the film that you didn't know Saturday night? I hate to keep asking this, but have you had any more guys come in and say they're done?
So first, what did we learn from the film that we didn't know? They did what they did. To be honest with you, they didn't change up much. They were who we thought they were, and our guys, some of our guys, I think the moment might have been big for us, for some of us, because we were young in some areas, and so it was another learning experience. We already had one with Washington playing a top 10 team. We think we've learned a little bit more than what we have, but it's all a part of the experience. They're getting better. As far as your portal question, there may be one guy that hops in that came up and met with me today, and that young man is Simeon Barrow. And it wasn't like a shock. We've been having discussions with him over the last several weeks, and he's been upfront and honest with us the whole time. So he's the young man that looking to possibly hop in there.
Cadence game, first drive you got moving and the turnover on downs, but what happened with the rest of his game that he was unable to kind of move the ball? And do you see any potential for Sam moving in and getting more snaps moving forward?
Good question. First of all, Kate, when we watch the quarterback play, you got to watch everything and make sure everything is what you're really seeing. You know what I mean? That is not always all just on the quarterback, I would say. It was the second game. He played really, really good in the Rutgers game, I think, and then, not quite as well this last game, but, it's not always all on him. He needs his teammates to step up and do their jobs as well. And so he's still our guy. Is there opportunity for Sam? Sure, there's opportunities for Sam. He's a good player, and we're going to continue to evaluate it and look at it throughout the course of this week and just see where that goes. But Caden is still the starting quarterback.
I want to ask you about Sam too. Has he sort of indicated, or is there the assumption like he's good to play throughout? Or just with the redshirt rule and him, does that have to be on the top of your mind whenever you throw him in, or has he said I'm good to play out the year, or where do you sort of?
Good question. That's something we haven't discussed, he and I, but I think he is. The young man just loves to play football, and so I haven't heard anything where he's thinking about redshirting or anything like that. I was talking to the team last week, and I was like, man, a lot of you guys cracked me up with the redshirt thing because a lot of you guys don't even like school. So why are you going to add another year of school? Like it doesn't make sense. Like what are y'all saying? So and a lot of guys want to go to the league in 3 years and all this stuff. So you're talking about adding a redshirt. You're like, where is this coming from? So, but he hasn't said. I haven't heard either way with him. Maybe I need to talk to him about it. But I know that he loves to play the game of football.
So what did you see from him in his couple series, and does he have any traits or anything, I guess, that stand out to you different from Peyton or anything like that?
Well, I mentioned before that Sam is very, very confident. He doesn't lack for confidence, and you love that about him. Not that the other guys aren't, but he's a confident young man, believes in his abilities. As you can see, he can run it, he can throw it, and a really good football player. So we'll see where that leads.
One last thing. You mentioned the conversations with Simeon. So anything you can share about that? I guess because you weren't surprised. So what sort of was he saying to sort of lay the groundwork? I guess, or what? Where were his thoughts? I guess on what went into all this. If he was sort of bringing it up previously.
I got you. I like to keep the private conversations.
So going into Minnesota, obviously a little bit different team than last year, but what did you learn from the way that game transpired a year ago?
Well, they're good. They can run the football. RPOs offer the run action, so that was their game, especially last year versus us. And they're still trying to do it again this year, although they have a different quarterback. We're gonna defensively. I'm coming from a defensive perspective against their offense. You're going to see a lot of the same things. Got good running game, good quarterbacks and receivers that understand the whole system. And then on defense, they're going to crowd the line of scrimmage and force you to throw the ball. and try to stop the run. So, good team, well-coached team, and Coach Fleck's been there for a while, and he has his system in place, and they know what he wants, and they try to get it done.
Two things, Harlan. First of all, on Saturday, and I'll put it to bed, did it catch your attention at all that Michigan elected not to take a knee and scored another touchdown with 8 seconds left?
I told our guys on the headsets, I said, they're trying to score. I said that multiple plays. They're not, I'm not surprised. Not at all.
Will you remember it?
Definitely. I'll always remember it. I'll remember everything about that game.
You've talked about how your team has responded. How about Harlon Barnett? This is 5 in a row. You've had a couple of gut-wrenching losses, and now this. I see you're still standing, but how are you holding up?
Thank you, Fred, for asking. I'm holding up. The 24-hour rule, I try to hold to that. Sometimes it may go to 28, 29, but I'm good today. I'm good. I get a lot of people asking me that. I'm good. I'm one of those people, man, that, to just keep fighting. That's all I know. I'll never give up, And so I'm going to keep coming. You have to kill me to stop me. So that's the only way I look at it, and that's how I try to get our team to be. And we're going to keep coming back, bouncing back, and giving everything that we got. It's not easy, because I hate losing. But it's a process that we're currently going through. No excuses. And we're going to go out there and try to get a win against Minnesota this weekend.
Is it tough for your staff, too, when they don't know their futures beyond the next 5 weeks?
I'm sure it is for them and their families. It depends. From my personal perspective, it's your source. So I know who my source is. So I never really get too stressed out about anything like that because he's taken care of me so long for so many years and so through so many things that, man, God off the chain. So that's how I personally approach it. I can't speak for everybody, but I know that he will cover us all. I'm praying for everybody and their families on our staff always, and that he continues to provide and protect for each one of them.
Harlan, there's no doubt that this team has fight, and statistically on the road, you guys lost by 10 at Iowa, even the game was a little bit closer than that, and 3 by Rutgers when you guys lost at Rutgers. So you got another opportunity coming up this weekend. What's the message for that going into that? And is there any factors going on the road? What are you telling your team going into this game and that when you're knocking on the door for a win?
Well, we still have to finish. I'm going to stick with the same thing. I'm going to still say discipline, everybody doing their job. And part of doing your job is pre-snap communication, post-snap communication, all of that. And then we talk about special teams, maximum effort, offense score, defense 3-and-out takeaway, and then finish. We have to finish. And so we'll continue to pound that into them. They understand it, they just have to do it. We have to do it. And we just have to keep pounding it and pounding it and pounding it till we actually get it done. So that's the message.
Harlan, not to keep harping about Simeon, but do you expect him to is there a timeline for him to make a decision about the portal, and do you expect him to be available on Saturday?
I think he may be gone. I think he's going to jump in personally, and that's what it's going to be. Wish him nothing but the best.
Okay. And then, you were here in 2016 when everything kind of slid. Is there anything you remember about that losing streak that you can take and apply here? That's something that different situations, but still.
That was tough, man. That was really tough because we couldn't figure out totally what is going on. It felt like that, and it does feel like this a little bit right now. Like, what is going on? What's happening? But all you can do is keep trying to get better. I said to the coaching staff this morning, let's just keep coaching these guys up, making them better. Let's improve and get better week to week, and then we'll probably start seeing the results that we're looking for. If we just keep coaching them up, don't give up, keep fighting, keep pushing.
Harlan, over here. There was a game, you were on the staff, I think it was 2012 at Minnesota, that Mark D'Antonio used to talk about what an important character game that was the year before the Rose Bowl. Kind of off the radar, end of the year, guys really decided they wanted to play. And I'm wondering, is this sort of last week sort of a season within a season against Michigan? is this sort of the week where the character gets tested and sort of revealing of who you are in that capacity?
It really is, Graham. I believe that, absolutely. This game is a game where the guys that are out there playing for us, you know they are Spartans. They want to be here and give everything that they have. And so, you know, kudos to these guys that are currently with us and still fighting and pushing through and showing great resilience. So, yes, this is a game that will, in a lot of ways, define this 2023 season, this game coming up.
Wondering about the running game. Nathan struggled to get on track. Noticed that Jalen wasn't in there very much. Between Jalen and Jaron, I guess kind of how you're viewing those two behind him.
Right. Jalen is probably going to be done for the rest of the year. I'm not going to give specifics, but you saw him come off the field. And we wish nothing but the best for him, obviously, in his healing. And it was good to see Jaron Mangum out there running hard and big body, change up back compared to Nate. So it was encouraging to see him out there running the football.
I kind of want to go back to Graham's question, and obviously a coach can only do so much to keep the guys together, but who are some of the players that have really stepped up and been vocal in the locker room and just trying to keep this season intact despite everything that's happened up to this point?
Absolutely. Our leaders have been Trey Mosley, J.D. Duplain, Nick Saymack, those guys. Derek Harmon has been really good. Speaking up, Angelo Gross in so many ways. Even though Cal Holiday doesn't say a whole lot, but he does command respect around the guys. And so those guys are doing a good job at keeping us together and pushing us forward.
Obviously a big recruiting weekend for you guys on Saturday, a lot of prospects on campus. I was wondering how, given the obvious challenge of the situation, how you thought that went, and was there one kind of big push for this class?
It was good pregame. It was good to see all those guys and seeing that they were here and showing genuine interest in Michigan State. And so that was really good. Didn't get a chance to see a lot of them afterwards, obviously. It's just obviously, but they know I'm not trying to go in that locker room now, but at the same time, you can look at it as a recruit like there's opportunity for me to go there and help. And so, that's the way that I try to look at it concerning recruiting. But it was good to see all those guys here.
When you play two teams in a row that seem like there's some similarities, at least offensively, with like tight ends and physicality running the football, is there a benefit from some carryover from maybe some things that you emphasized last week that will still be in place this week for a team that's trying to get back on track? Is that a benefit?
Absolutely, that is a benefit. You don't have many changes in the plan. You just have to execute the plan better, and wrap and squeeze when you're tackling, run through contact, wrap and squeeze. And so we're going to do that because they do a good job of running the football and doing things like that.
Sort of going on that. How do you think your linebackers are holding up? Not a lot of depth right now. All three of those guys are playing a lot. How do you think they're holding up?
They're holding up well. They're doing a good job, and we try to take care of them throughout the course of the week. They're veterans now. Even Jordan Hall is starting to become like a veteran a little bit. But we try to take as much pounding off of them as possible, especially during this time of the year. And so they're smart. They understand. They're still getting reps out there and doing a good job for us. So keep praying for help.
You mentioned about Nick being a leader. I don't know if you saw the video of him giving a salute to the crowd with two fingers. Not quite. But, between him and Spencer, I mean, there's obvious frustration. I guess first, have you addressed any of the frustration with those guys and others? And I don't know, with Spencer's penalty, does he have to miss a half? Is that not like targeting for the flagrant, or is it because it happened in the second half, or is that the situation where he'll be eligible right away?
Haven't heard either way yet, to be honest with you. And like you said, not that it's an excuse, because it's not. We got to be able to keep our cool. We have talked about keeping your cool and when you get frustrated, because that's life. That's going to happen in life, and you can't get all emotional. Can't operate off of emotions. And so that was a life lesson for those guys, and I believe that they received it.
Some things you can control, some things you can't. There's very fine line, thin margin for error. With the 3 penalties in the 2 plays back to back, you tell your guys that there's no way you can win any game with that.
No question. It was like 40 yards, so yeah, we cannot. They understand that. Like I said I think it was Saturday after the game, we had 11 versus Washington, if I'm not mistaken, and they had another 11 versus these guys, and both top 10 teams. You can't do that. You cannot do that. You got to be able to rise to the occasion and play disciplined football. Physical and discipline. That's what we talked about, being disciplined and physical throughout the entire game. And we just didn't do it. We just didn't do it. No excuses. We have to get better at it. Got to get better at it.
Do you know what's causing that? Are guys trying to do too much? Just frustrations?
Probably trying to do too much. The game was a big game, and both of those were, and I think I don't know. I hate to try to guess and figure out what those guys were thinking and get in their heads, but I do know, just as a former player, that when you have these situations, you live for these situations. This is why you do what you do. You don't come here to play Little Sisters of the Poor, right? You come here to play in games like this past weekend and the Washington game. And so when those times come, it should bring a smile on your face, enthusiasm, excitement, passion, all of that. And then being able to play a smart, physical, tough, disciplined football game. That's what you should be able to play. And so our guys are learning. We're young in some areas, and hopefully all this experience will pay off in the future.
You've had some attrition in the defensive tackle position. Now with Simeon out, can you talk about what's left and how you go against this physical run team? Who do you have there at second string, and what's that looking like depth-wise?
Yeah. We still have, Derek Harmon. We still have Jalen Sammy, Maverick Hansen, and those guys. And then, Ken Talley has to go in there. We can bring him in there. So we have those guys still available, and we'll use what we have at our disposal. They'll go in there and grind and fight and do whatever we need to do to help us succeed.